UFC Manel Kape versus Kyogi Horiguchi is happening this Saturday. Their long-awaited rematch. Their first fight in a huge, stadium in front of all the Japanese fans. Their next fight in the Apex, But I'm not complaining, because the card, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I actually think it's going to be a pretty good card on the fight. There's a lot of prospects on this card. So let's just get into the card. Let me give you my predictions real quick. Kape versus Horiguchi, two very good looking men. Pause. But now I start from the first fight of the night. Shane Collins versus Otari Tanzilovi. Now I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know who these guys were when I first saw their names. I'm gonna be real. They're both making their UFC debuts. I looked at their records. Shane Collins, I think he's like a 7-0 record, undefeated. Otari, he's like 10-1. But I am still going to go with Otari. He's Georgian. That's not the only reason. But I looked at Shane Collins' record, and do you know what I saw? I saw 5-15 records. I saw 0-1 records. The guy was making his debut against him. I saw 6-3, 4-2. Not great opponents, if I'm being real. But then I looked at Otari's record. I've seen guys who are like, they're a lot more experienced. They had like 25 fights. Did they win all of them? No. They both don't have great opponents, but at least his record is like 20, like 15-20. Like I like that record more than like 1-1. You know what I mean? So I'm going Otari. He trains out of Georgia. If you ask me any more details about them, I don't know. I have my hands up. You know what I mean? But yeah. Moving on though. I'm gonna go decision though. Close fight. I think it just edges a decision. Moving on. Leon Shabazian. Edmund Shabazian? I think that actually might be his brother. I actually don't know. I don't know. Versus Levon Kokili. I'm not gonna lie, if that is Edmund Shabazian's brother, I'm sorry. I am gonna go with Levon Kokili. He's another Georgian. I don't know why they don't have it on their website. A little weird, USC. They don't even have his picture. But I am gonna go with Levon Kokili. This guy Leon Shabazian, he's been knocked out a lot of times. I looked at his record. He's been knocked out a lot of times. He has really good submission ability. It seems like he gets a submission or he gets knocked out. That's what it seems like to me. And Levon Kokili, he hasn't been submitted too many times, and he is a knockout artist. So a guy who has a lot of powers, are a knockout artist, or a guy who gets knocked out. I'm going with the guy who gets, you know what I mean? Levon Kokili, he is from Georgia as well. Trains with a good team over there. I think he's going to win by knockout. I'm going to go first round knockout. Shabazian, like I said, his defensive striking isn't good. He gets knocked out a lot. So I think he's going to get knocked out. Boom. That's my prediction, bro. Quick and easy. Boom. Just like that. Moving on. My favorite fight of the night, arguably. Carol Rosa versus Luana Santos. I'm not going to lie. I'm going with Carol Rosa. I just feel like Rosa, she's been ranked for some time now. She had even her losses, very, very competitive fights. She's gone the distance with Eileen Perez, Irene Aldana. I just feel like Luana Santos, I think she's like 5-1 the UFC, really good record. But the people she's beating, and I'm actually watching her fight, she doesn't look that great to me. She seems pretty well rounded. Her grappling seems pretty good. I just feel like Cara Rosa on the feet, the leg kick is there. She has really good leg kicks. I feel like she'll win on the feet, and I feel like she's good enough to stop Luana's takedowns. And I feel like Luana, without the takedowns and she's just average in my opinion. So I feel like Cara Rosa will win a decision. It is WMMA. It's probably going to be a close decision. Let's be real. So yeah, I'm going Cara Rosa. Close decision. I feel like she gets it done. She is coming off a W as well. So it's not like she's on like a 5-fight losing streak. No, she's coming off a W. So yeah. Moving on though. Gaston Bolanos versus Michael Aswell Jr. I don't know. I really don't know why Aswell Jr. is a minus 450 favorite. That's kind of crazy to me, if I'm being real. He's coming off a loss against, what's the guy's name? Paddy Pimblett's. Luke Riley's coming off a loss against Luke Riley. It was a decision. He didn't get knocked out or anything. But am I crazy to say I feel like Gaston Bolanos could win this? I know his record is like 8-5. It's completely terrible. But most of those losses were by submission. And Michael Aswell Jr., he has no submissions in he's not a submission artist at all. So I feel like Gaston Bolanos is going to be a striking fight. Michael Aswell Jr. likes to make it a little dirty in there. But Bolanos, he's a pretty crafty and pretty like skillful striker. And I just feel like over the course of 3 rounds, I feel like he'll have the better of the striking exchanges. And I feel like he'll win the fight. I'm being real. Michael Aswell, he can make it dirty and maybe get a finish or maybe win a decision. But Bolanos, he's only been knocked out one time too, as well. I know he got knocked out against Marcus McGee. That's not even not a bad knockout. And he got knocked out with a spinning wheel kick. So I feel like Bolanos, he is an underdog. I do think he's gonna win by decision, striking fight, edges it out, close decision. But then again, I'm not too confident in this one. I just feel like for him to be that big of an underdog, I don't know about that. But nah, that is my prediction for that fight. Let's move on. Let's make this quick. Alan Nascimento versus Mitch Raposo. I'm not gonna lie, I was this close to picking Mitch Raposo. Even though he's not great, but I just feel like his losses, he faced Andre Lima, is that his name? Wait, let me see. He's on this card. Oh yeah, Andre Lima. He faced Andre Lima. He had a close fight. He had a split decision against him, a split decision against Chumadarji. He's coming off a win against Azat Maxim. He's not bad at all. He's not like a super entertaining guy, but he's good enough to go to a close decision with good fighters. But I just feel like Alan Nascimento, he's such a good submission artist. He is Brazilian. He's on a huge, I don't think he's lost in the UFC. No, he has lost in the UFC. He lost against Tagir Limbekov like 3 years ago or 5 years ago, something like that. He's on a good run, very good submission ability, but he could also take it to a decision. You know what I mean? He has good cardio to take it to a decision. I just feel like Mitch Raposo hasn't faced a really good submission artist in his UFC career so far. And I just feel like going from fighting Azat Maxim, he has pretty good jiu-jitsu, but he's more of a striker. You know what I mean? Andre Luma, more of a striker. Shumadarji, more of a striker. I just feel like now Alan Nascimento, he's such a big switch in opponents where I just feel he'll get it done by submission. Mitch Raposo, I don't know if he's been submitted before. I think he's been submitted like once or something like that. But I just feel he'll get it done. Submission, I'm gonna say round 3 submission. Close fight, competitive until, submitted. You know what I mean? But nah. Moving on though, first round submission, moving on though. Bro, I'm not sure I even predict this fight, bro. BMS Quetta. I don't know much about her. I just know she's like this world level jiu-jitsu artist. She only has 2 fights in the UFC and she's already ranked. And then Melissa Mullins, like, it's Melissa Mullins. Like, no disrespect, but she's not great. So yeah, BMS Quetta. First round rear naked choke. All right, let's go. Moving on though. Melsik Bagdasarian versus Murtazali Magomedov. Bagdasarian, his last fight was against, unfortunately, it was against John Silva. Pretty tough fight, especially, that was like his like comeback fight, and he got put up against John Silva. He got knocked out. Kind of, we saw that coming, but I do feel like he'll win. I do feel like he'll lose this fight as well. Murtazali Magomedov, he's 10-0, undefeated. He trains with really good fighters. I'm pretty sure he trains with Islam Makhachev, or I don't know, like full time with Islam, but I know he trained with him in the past. That doesn't mean much if I'm being real, but something to point out. But his record 10-0, 5 of those wins all of them are finishes, by the way. 5 of them knockout, 5 of them submission. And Melsik Bagdasarian, he's coming off a knockout loss. He's been submitted multiple times in his career. I feel like that's the thing. It's like submission, knockout. What do I think he's going to win by? You know what I mean? I do feel he'll get the submission, though. Bagdasarian, he did fight John Silva in his last UFC fight. It is a big switch in a matchup. If I'm being real, Murtazali is more of a kicker. John Silva, really fast and heavy hands. I feel like Murtazali, it's going to be competitive on the feet. I do think he'll drop him. I think he'll get the sub, in my opinion. Or maybe he might just take him down and submit him. Either way, I do see it being a first round submission from Murtazali. Bagdasarian, bro, why do they love giving him such tough matchups? Like, he's actually a funny guy a fun guy to watch. You know what I mean? But for some reason, I don't know if they like him. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going Murtazali Magomedov by first round submission. Moving on. Andre Lima versus Kevin Borjas. Yeah, I think this is the biggest favorite on the card. I'm going Andre Lima. What else can I say? I do think this fight will go to a decision, though. Andre Lima, he's really good, really clean, really big for the weight class, but he doesn't mind the decision. You know what I mean? He doesn't really push for the finish as much as you would like. and he doesn't fight as often as much as you would like. So I think people forget how good he is. You know what I mean? You know, his last fight, what was it against? It was against, I forgot, Luis Perez or something like that. It was like last year. He does need to fight more often because he's honestly, most of his wins are pretty effortless, if I'm being real. You know what? He kind of coasts to a decision, really good striking, can mix it up as well. Kevin Borjas, he's a tough guy. You know, he has good boxing, but other than that, you know what I mean? He's been knocked out before. He's been submitted before. Actually, has he been submitted? I'm not sure about that. But I feel like Andre Lima, he'll coast to a decision kind of handedly. I feel like he can mix it up on the ground if he wants to. He could take him down, or he could stay on the feet, win on the feet. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna coast to a decision. A lot of leg kicks, a lot of movement, not getting hitting, and he wins by a decision. What else can I say? He's definitely gonna be a guy to watch out for in the future. But I just hope he fights more often, and like, can we like give him a step in competition as well? I feel like Kevin Borjas is like you know what I mean? I feel like he should be fighting into the ranking, especially after this fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go by decision. Moving on, Hyder Emil is back versus Christian Rodriguez. I know we say Christian Rodriguez as like the prospect killer, but guess what? Hyder Emil, I don't really classify him as a prospect anymore. He's on 2-fight loss streak, and I feel like, am I crazy to say he gets it done? I do feel like he was gonna win this fight. Christian Rodriguez, he's good, but I'm sorry, he's literally barely beating these prospects, which he's still beating them. He's a very smart guy, but he's off a loss against two losses against Andre Fili, who's the next fight on the card, and Milky. What's his name? He just lost against Arnold Allen, Mike Cozel Costa. He just lost against those two guys, and those are not bad losses. But I feel like Hyder Emil, he's such a switch up from who he usually fights. Like, Hyder Emil's pressure is so exhausting. I know he lost the last two fights. He got caught against Jose Delgado in his last fight. Jamal Emmers, that's a tough matchup for him. Jamal Emmers is a really good counter striker, really heavy hands. That is a tough matchup for him. I do think Christian Rodriguez, let's be real, he doesn't have that pop. I feel like why can't Hyder Emil just pressure him the whole fight like he's been doing all of his UFC run? You know what I mean? Why can't he do that? Christian Rodriguez, what is he gonna do? I know it's his fighting. You could obviously get caught, but Rodriguez is not this like power puncher. He barely has any finishes on his career. He is a decision guy. He's just well rounded, good everywhere. Not great everywhere, but just like okay everywhere. I just feel like Hyder Emil, if he pressures him and he lands some good shots and the leg kicks and you know what I mean. Like, what is he really gonna do? So I think Hyder Emil, I think he's going by decision, unanimous decision. It's gonna be close, but I just really don't see Christian Rodriguez. I'm sorry. Like, usually when he wins, it's like against Austin Bashi, we kind of gassed out. Bashi, that is, and he waited until he gassed out and then he put the pace on him. That's usually what he does. But Hyder Emil, he has such good cardio, where I feel like that's just not gonna be. He can't you know what I mean? He's not gonna gas out, and I feel he's gonna win a decision against Christian Rodriguez. He might mix up the grappling if he has to as well. He has that in his bag too. You know what I mean? So yeah, moving on. Andre Fili versus Vinicius Oliveira. Oliveira moving up from bantamweight. I just had to yawn, my bad. Andre Fili coming off I think he's coming off a loss against Jose Delgado. But I'm going Vinicius Oliveira. I do think this is going to be one of the more competitive fights on this card. I'm being real. I don't know what the odds are. They don't show it, but I'm guessing Oliveira is a pretty big favorite. Not like a huge favorite, but there's going to be no grappling in this fight probably, unless Oliveira is doing it. But I feel like this is going to be completely a striking fight. I feel Oliveira is both these guys are so high tempo and high volume. Like, they throw a lot. This is definitely going to be a banger. I already know it. I just feel like Vinicius Oliveira, I feel like his pressure is a little better, and I feel like he has more power in his shots. I don't think this is going to be a knockout. I do think this is going to be a decision, unanimous, in my opinion. But it's going to be a close fight. Andre Fili, he can strike. He can bang. Pause. I do feel like Vinicius Oliveira is going to win it. He might drop him as well. He has heavy hands, but then again, this is featherweight though. He had heavy hands at bantamweight. He is moving up a weight class. Usually, their first fight after you move up is kind of like your toughest fight. You know what I mean? But I do feel like he'll win this fight. Close decision. Gonna be a banger fight though. I'm already knowing. So yeah. Moving on though. Co-main event. Ion Cutelaba versus Navajo Sterling. I feel like we're all gonna go Navajo Sterling in this fight, but this is a dangerous fight, man. This is a very dangerous fight for Sterling. I'm being real. Because Ion Cutelaba, he is very dangerous on the feet, good power, and he's also very dangerous on the ground. Like, you have to watch out for this guy. He's coming off a submission win against Omar Sy, a big upset. I'm pretty sure it was a guillotine. He submitted IBO Aslan. But I feel like Navajo Sterling, he's so good at he's so careful in there. I feel like he'll definitely win this fight. But I'm going to go by decision. I don't really feel a knockout, if I'm being real, unless maybe that third round on Cutelaba's a little gas. Navajo puts the pace on him. But then again, Cutelaba, he can pull it out of his bag. You know what I mean? Even when he's gassed or something like that, he can still knock you out. Yeah, you still have to be careful. You know what I mean? But I just feel like Navajo, he knows this is light heavyweight. He knows he can't take no risk. You know what I mean? Or like you can't, you know what? Like you can't get hit. So he's very good at getting a hit. I mean, not getting hit and hitting. So I feel like he'll definitely win this fight. Outstrike him on the feet. Kind of maybe take the first round off a little. Let Ion Cutelaba gas out a little. And then rounds number 2 and 3, put the pace on him. I do feel like it's going to a decision. I'm going to say like 30-26. Like that last round was like a 10-8. I'm going to say that. But Ion Cutelaba, you have to watch out for his submissions, bro. Navajo Sterling. If he gets caught in a guillotine in this fight, he lost. I don't know. He's not as experienced as Ion, so I don't know if you can defend those type of takedowns. I mean those grappling exchanges. We'll see how good he does, but I do feel like he'll win this fight. He is a way better striker, and he is very careful. So yeah. Moving on though, main event of the evening: Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. They already fought before. Horiguchi won it by submission. I don't feel like he'll win by submission again. I don't feel like the grappling will play as big as a part as it was in the first fight. Manel Kape is a lot more experienced since their first fight. His submission defense and his grappling defense has improved a lot. So I feel he's going to win it, bro. I'm being real. The striking is better. His striking is better than Kyoji Horiguchi's. Horiguchi's good, athletic, explosive, pretty basic if I'm being real. A lot of 1-2s, head kicks, dangerous, good. Like, he won his last fight with a broken hand on the feet. Like, he is a very good striker. But Manel Kape is so clean and he's so accurate and he's so powerful in this weight class. Like, his last fight knocked out Brandon Royval. The fight before that knocked out. Who have we seen on a 3-fight knockout streak like Manel Kape? Like, bro, knocked out Brandon Royval, knocked out Asu Amabayev, knocked out Bruno Silva. Like, his power for this weight class is so good. I feel like this fight, first round, it's going to be very competitive. They have to feel each other out, pause. But I do, honestly, I see Kyogi, I think he wins the first round just because he's such an output guy. With Manel Kape, he kind of has to go into soothe into the fight, if that makes sense. Get more comfortable, even though he is coming off in the first round knockout win. But that's the thing. He knew he was going to knock out Royval. Because Royval, his chin, it's good. His chin's good, but the fight before that, he took so much damage. You know what I mean? So Manel Kape, I feel like he kind of takes a round off. But when it comes to rounds number 3 and 4 and maybe 5, I feel like Manel Kape is going to be accurate. He's going to be powerful. I don't know if Kyoji Horiguchi can take those shots. I'm being real. He's 35 years old. He's on a good run at the UFC, 2-fight winning streak. Very active. He did win the first fight, but I just feel like since the grappling is not going to play a part, Manel Kape is just so much cleaner and powerful on the feet. He's going to tag him. And when he does, I think he's going to get him out of there. I'm going to say third round knockout from Manel Kape. Accurate. What else can I say, man? But Kyoji Horiguchi, he's good, though. He's good. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to say, it is going to be a competitive fight. You know what I mean? Until it's not. Like, he might win the fight until it's not. If that means, he's going to win. All right, I don't know what I'm saying no more. But yeah, that's my prediction for that fight. Subscribe, like, comment, Instagram, and I never plug this, but I have an Instagram and TikTok, bro. I have it and I use it and I post on it. So follow that, bro. Let's be real. Man, with that being said, I'm out of here.